This is DRF Race of the Day. Hi everybody, Dan Illman here with the DRF Race of the Day for Thursday, January the 13th. Let's pop up the field for race number 8 at Gulfstream Park. It's at a one-turn mile for older horses, an optional claimer, non-winners of one other than the condition, $25,000 the optional claiming price. You can download free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Access them, handicap along with me. When you've made your final determinations, you of course can play this race and the entire Gulfstream card on Thursday with your DRF Bets account. Really interesting going over these past performances. A lot of these horses are returning off layoffs. You might want to check the DRF Clocker report, which should be available on Wednesday for this Thursday card. See which of these horses is working well coming off of layoffs, and of course check out those free formulator past performances. Those trainer stats are invaluable, especially when figuring out which trainers have horses ready to go off layoffs or which trainers like to give them a race or two. Pace also very important, as we see from the Timeform US Pace Projector. Expecting this race to favor horses on or near the early lead. Timeform US has the number 7, Drive for Fun, on the lead, but I really think the 9, Create Again, is going to try to get to the front. This horse is in sharp form. His best races have come when he's on the lead, and I think Amiziel Jaramillo is going to take advantage of this horse's natural speed and outside post and try to send this horse to get forward position, if not get outright on the early lead. So I don't think the pace will be blazing. I'm not sure it'll be glacial. I think it'll be fair, and I think the 9 is going to be on the lead and in a good position when the field turns into the stretch. The One Little Demon has tactical speed. I think he is going to adapt to any sort of pace scenario, and this is a horse that can improve in his second start off about a 5.5-month layoff. He returned off the layoff and earned a career best Beyer speed figure for a very underrated trainer, Kathleen O'Connell. The horse was almost 50-1 that day. He easily outran expectations, finished behind Create Again in that race, but I do think he can take the necessary step forward in his second start of the form cycle. The number 2 is a mount, and we have a formulator fact for a mounts trainer, Todd Pletcher. This is one of those layoff horses. We haven't seen a mount since February the 26th, but look at Pletcher. The past 5 years, dirt routes, 180 to 365 days on the sidelines, and when they return at Gulfstream Park, 32% winners, a $2.37 ROI. So you usually don't worry about layoffs with a mount, a horse who is returning as a first-time gelding. He was an impressive debut winner at the end of 2020 at Gulfstream Park, and he faced tough competition in his only 2 starts as a 3-year-old. He ran in the Holy Bull Stakes. He was pulled up that day. They then ran him an allowance race against Known Agenda, who of course would come back to win the Grade 1 Florida Derby with a 94 Beyer speed figure. This horse is well bred. Pletcher obviously does great off the layoff. And I think a mile is probably what this horse wants. He was able to debut at a demanding 7/8 of a mile distance and win. I think Pletcher will likely have this horse ready to go. And at 5-1 on the morning line, that seems fair. I have a feeling he might take a little bit more money, considering who he ran against last year, considering who the trainer is, and considering that these workouts look very solid. Disc Jockey is the number 3. Now, this horse has actually been away longer than a mount. We haven't seen Disc Jockey in almost 2 years. His last race is the race we're going to show you right now. This is the American Fabius Stakes. It's a starter stakes race on February the 17th, 2020. Disc Jockey, I think, was the best horse in this race. He was the odds-on favorite coming off of 2 wins to start his career. He ended up 4 wide in the 5 path on the backstretch behind a slow pace set by a 70-1 shot named Scardo. He got bounced around on the turn when trying to get in just a little bit. He was urged on the outside on the turn. He's trying to get to this long shot in the stretch. That long shot just had too much of an advantage on the lead, and Disc Jockey lost too much ground. If he wasn't coming off a 2-year layoff, I think he'd be way the horse to beat off that 83 Beyer speed figure, but we haven't seen him in almost 2 years. Safi Joseph did win with a horse coming off a year layoff, I believe in November or December at Gulfstream Park, so it's not unheard of for an excellent trainer like Safi Joseph to get one ready off the layoff. Bullet workout on January the 8th, and if he runs back to any of his last 2 figures, he's going to be tough. It's a big if at a relatively short price, 7-2 on the morning line. If he runs back to his form that he showed before the layoff, he's obviously tough. Oriental Trigger is the number 4. This horse did some good work in Chile. This is an Argentine bred. He's only raced once. in North America. It was off a very long layoff in his most recent start. He was outrun early behind a fast pace, and he passed some tired horses in the stretch. It was a good lung opener, a good fitness builder. The horse that finished last in that race did come back to win, albeit in a $6,250 claimer with a 72 Beyer speed figure. Right now, it looks like this horse needs pace, help up front. Maybe he'll actually want a little bit more distance down the road. I'm going to take a wait-and-see approach on a horse who's 20-1 on the morning line, and again, should benefit from the recent start off the layoff. Tap It to the Wire, debut winner. Coming back facing winners for the first time. Let's watch Tap It to the Wire's debut. Now, he only beat 3 others. He got in a little bit of trouble early in this race. He got into the clear. He drives on home to win by 3. He got a solid Beyer speed figure for this effort, a 78. He's been freshened since this race, but it looks like he's been working right along, looking for the right spot, and I think Saffie Joseph might have found the right spot in here. 78 Beyer for Tap It to the Wire. He's going to have to stretch out from 6 to a mile. I'm not too concerned about that. The Tappets can do just about anything, and he has the tactical speed to stay close to the expected fair to moderate pace. 3-1 on the morning line, though. Facing winners for the first time seems light. Full Charge is the 6th. Full Charge won very impressively last time out at Churchill Downs. The horse won by 5 with an 80 Beyer. It showed that his prior race, an 83 Beyer effort going 2 turns at Churchill, was no fluke. Now, the issue is a layoff. We haven't seen this horse since the win back in June. Sharp horses off a win usually don't take 6-7 months off unless something must have happened. Likely a physical issue for Full Charge, who's returning at a mile. He might be slightly better at longer distances going 2 turns, but it's a very good trainer, Jack Sisterson. I would keep an eye on him with horses like Full Charge, maybe down the road. He is 6-1 on the morning line. Drive for Fun is the number 7. Now, Drive for Fun made his career debut at Keeneland back during their fall meeting. He was bet down to 9-2, which I think says something about this horse's ability. Rusty Arnold, his trainer, does not win with first-time starters. He's about 5 or 6% over the past 5 years. You can check it out in Formulator. And this horse ran okay. With a wide trip, he passed a couple of tired horses. I just don't think he was cranked up at all. Now, Rusty wins about 13% with second-time starters, and Drive for Fun really improved second time out, stretching out to a mile. He's a big, good-bodied son of distorted humor. He showed a lot more speed in that race going a mile. He prompted the pace in the 3-path in between horses. He moved in tandem with the long-shot runner-up on the turn. He was down inside in the stretch, and he shrugged the runner-up away. He got an 84 Beyer. Thus far, if you look at Formulator, you can see that a couple of horses have come out of that race to win. The 3rd finisher won at the Fairgrounds with an 87 Beyer. The 5th finisher won at the Fairgrounds with a 94 Beyer. So that 84 Beyer has held up so far. Drive for Fun, as you saw in the pace projector, has tactical speed. He's well bred. He, again, is a big, good-looking horse, and these Rusty Arnold-trained horses seem to improve with maturity. 9-2 on the morning line, fair for a horse coming off of an impressive win against a couple of horses that have flattered the race. Luddington is the 8. I wouldn't sleep on Luddington because this horse has a tremendous amount of experience. He has won 6 times in his career, and his most recent start just thinks a throwout. They ran him in the Claiming Crown Jewel, and he showed some good speed that day, and he just tired going a mile and an eighth. I just think a mile and an eighth is not what this horse wants to do. He probably is at his best going 7 furlongs to a mile. 2 starts back off of a short layoff for trainer Peter Walder. He was able to run a solid second in a $25,000 starter. That race coming off the heels of 2 victories. He loves Gulfstream Park with 4 wins, and he's got some speed as well. Maybe Corey Lannery will use that horse's speed, and he'll try to get up close to the pace, along with the number 9 Create Again we're going to talk to right now. Create Again coming off of this race, an optional claiming event where he was taken for 25 by trainer Gustavo Delgado, who has good statistics off of the claim. Create Again coming off a 2-month layoff, pressed the pace, no match for the winner who was on the lead that day, but ran a good 81 Beyer speed figure. This horse has back class, and he does have the speed to get close to the pace. Delgado goes well off the claim, 8-1 on the morning line for Create Again, who's entered for the $25,000 tag. Top pick time for this race, it's really all about what are you going to get from the layoff horses? What are you going to get from a mount? A horse that's been away since February. What are you going to get from Disc Jockey? A horse that's been away since February of 2020. Full Charge, a horse that's been away since June. Even Tap It to the Wire. is coming off a 2.5-month layoff off of his debut win. I'm going to go with Drive for Fun here, the number 7. I don't think he was fully cranked for his debut going 6. I think that distance was too short for him. I think we saw the real Drive for Fun in his second lifetime start. He won impressively that day, up close to the pace throughout. 2 next out winners left in his wake, and the tactical speed to stay close to the pace. He's 9-2 on the morning line. I'm going 7-3-6-9, and your Thursday DRF race of the day. Good luck.